All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there is a blog, which is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. There is rss.com where they have a transcript. There's Rumble where that's the video. The video that I put on the blog is hosted on Rumble. There's Apple. I'm on Apple, My FX Buddies. Just do an internet search for My FX Buddies and you'll see a whole bunch of different places. Spotify.com. I'm there and they have video and audio. And YouTube. If you are listening to this on YouTube, and I said listening, then you're not really seeing the video. You're seeing a static image, right? The image never changes. And I've been saying this more and more. You might want to go to the blog. I'm going to talk about something that you may want to see for yourself, but maybe not, whatever. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, under the box that appears to be a video, look for the word more. Click on the word more. Another box comes up with information and the link to the blog is there. All right. Today is, I think that's everything. This is episode 102 and I am just I found a way to keep a better track of it. All right. And the main reason why I want to do that is because people ask me stuff and I'm like, oh, I saw an article that would be perfect to explain that. But I can't go back 2.5 months. Well, that's what I do anyway. I say, go to my blog, go back like 2.5 months, and it's either this one or this one. But look there. But so if I keep better, like episode 101 was really good because that's when we got the notice about the details of the meeting with the central bank in New York, right? So it's just better. Okay, sorry you didn't need to know that, but that's why I'm doing that now. I'm going forward. I'll be keeping better track. Okay. It is Sunday. Oh, it's 1:11. All right. Okay. It's September 1st. Here we are. We're in September. It's September 1st. And I'm doing this early enough in the day where it should post for September 1st. And then tomorrow here in America is a holiday. But, I mean, all my days are pretty much the same. But you never know. Anything could happen, right? So I wanted to do this today. I may or may not post tomorrow. All right, so let's get into it. So the title of this is Central Bank Discusses in Washington the Reintegration of Banks Banned from the Dollar. I do have my window open. So they're still talking about this trip in the news. I haven't seen it on the TV, but that doesn't mean anything. And I've been watching because I'm looking for lower denoms or anything good. But anyway, so this, yeah, central bank. So I like that it says reintegration of banks banned from the dollar. Well, it just says they discussed it. We don't know if they got approved. Because we do know they got approved to use those other currencies, right? The foreign currencies. So this here, if you've seen the picture, this is the guy. Is his name here? His name is Brian something. He's the undersecretary of something for the U.S. Treasury. But see how close they're sitting? I just don't. This picture, it disturbs me. There's enough space here. They don't have to be touching each other like that, right? They could spread apart a little bit, but that's just me. I, I'm a germaphobe. I don't like people touching me. But anyway, so yeah, let's see. They again talk about Al-Alaq being there. Same during separate meetings, right? Visa, Mastercard, MoneyGram. I'm just going through this quickly because, like I said, this was talked about yesterday. Well, in episode 101. But I wanted to see. I don't think they used the wording reintegration. So that caught my eye, and that's why I wanted to go with that as the title. The parties gathered during the negotiations praised the important steps in enhancing the banking sector reforms, the most important of which is the contract that the delegation of the CBI concluded with the company Oliver Wyman. Okay, so we have another article, a better, more detailed article, because I don't know who Oliver Wyman is. I don't know what they do. Okay, yeah, they audit. So what, right? That Oh, it does. It says right here, work to develop practical solutions to reintegrate these banks into the Iraqi and international banking sector, in addition to improving the level of banks' procedures in line with international standards. All right. So here's the one that came out. Oliver Wyman Company and lifting sanctions on banks banned from the dollar. This is the guy, I believe this is the guy that he's Iraqi. He's not a representative of Oliver Wyman. So let's see. The Central Bank of Iraq has contracted with Oliver Wyman, a global consulting firm that has the ability to restructure companies to succeed in difficult times, build a new strategy in banking, and be a leader in risk strategy and human resources, helping clients navigate a dynamic environment across 4 global firms. So see, there's a little more detail, right? So it involves human resources. Well, training the people, really, that's what that is. Restructuring. So it's not just auditing, right? It's strategizing and everything. So that is a pretty good, I feel that helped me understand more. So I thought maybe it would help others. A firm like Oliver Wyman can therefore help sanctioned Iraqi banks understand the sanctions imposed on them, work on strategies to mitigate their impact, and even help remove these sanctions in some cases. All right, so if you didn't know, if this is your first time hearing this, it was really good news, but oh wait, you know what I think? We're going to go through it again. So just scratch that, right? Okay, so we're done. We're done with that definition of what Oliver Wyman is going to do. And this came out yesterday. Yeah. Okay, this came out today. Finance. Iraq maintains its credit rating and foreign exchange reserves level. So they remain at B- with a stable outlook, indicating financial and economic stability in Iraq. So now remember, in the article of Mohammed Saleh saying we're not ready to delete 3 zeros unless we have what? Economic stability and security. And there you have S&P, I think this is Standard & Poor's saying they have economic stability. Well, at a level of B-, but still, right? So it says the new rating, I don't think it's new, but whatever. The new rating reflects the ongoing economic and financial reform policy pursued by the Ministry of Finance, in addition to maintaining the level of foreign currency reserves that exceed the external public debt and fulfilling other external financial obligations as a result of the stability of crude oil prices. So that's good, right? Here's something about they're continuing to discuss amending the investment law. So these are all today. These are all dated September 1st. Prime Minister advisor. So here's Mohammed Saleh. Again, you see how they let him? He's the one that comes out with the announcements. So it would not surprise me if he is not the one to say Congratulations, Iraqi people. You now have more purchasing power. It wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, so here he's talking about the increase in the non-oil revenues compared to previous years. Totally boring, but some people like that, so that's why that's there. Here, the Central Bank of Iran sold 320 billion Iraqi dinars to visitors. So in years past, these people would have gotten dollars or euros, but instead, remember, they sold them dinars, Iraqi dinars, and they even had a couple of ATMs. Here, they could get the currency from ATMs located at, I'm guessing that is Imam Khomeini International Airport. So at their airport, they even had ATMs with dinars in them. And I wonder if they're still there. Because if they were there and I was an Iranian, I'd be going to them ATMs and be getting that Iraqi dinar. Right? Right? They know what's up. Anyway, I don't think anyone from Iran listens to me though. But anyway, all right, yeah. So that is that. Let's see. The government pays great attention to digital transformation at the state level. Yes, this is really big news. I don't know why they're so happy about this or emphasizing this, but it's been on their TV like every news cycle. They're showing this meeting, and you say, Tish, you don't speak English, Arabic. How do you know? Because the same picture right here of these people is shown. Plus, there's more people. See how his hand is there? There's more people. And this SAP, there's no Arabic for SAP, so they say SAP. So I know that's what they're talking about. But SAP is a very serious business, very serious for digitizing. So yeah, so they're moving forward. There's two versions of this article. One is uh, easier to read, in my opinion, than the other. So I have them both there. But Prime Minister Sudani received today, Sunday, representatives of SAP, a global leader in software, and during the meetings they discussed the executive summary of the roadmap for digital transformation in Iraq presented by the company. So that's my phone. If you'd like to read more of that, you can. It's at the blog. You just go to the blog, myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. You don't have to join. You don't have to give any information. It's free. The whole article is there. I even include the links to the original articles so you can pull them up for yourself also, although they are in Arabic and you would need software to translate it to English. This is something interesting, the first of its kind, with the presence of the President of the Republic, a purely Kurdish meeting in Baghdad. Now, if you can see this, I think this is hilarious. Okay, this guy right here is Jamal Cougar, if you ever hear me say Jamal Cougar, and he's looking at the camera. This is Fawad Hussein. What the heck is he looking at? And I didn't know he was a Kurd. And this right here, what's he looking at? Look, he's looking down. They are not in interested in this meeting. I'm like, are they looking at their cell phones? But this is the president of Iraq. The president is always a Kurd. That's in the Constitution. But these people are engaged. Look, they're looking at the right places. So I don't know. I just think that's a funny picture. But anyway, so what are they there to talk about? The salaries and getting the right information to Baghdad so Baghdad can get the money to Kurdistan to pay the salaries. That's what they're telling us. They're probably talking about, what's the other thing? Doggone it. I can't remember, but possibly they're talking about the rate too, you know. Okay, Schlumberger signs Iraq training agreement. This had been delayed. They talked. They first started talking about this in April when Sudani came to America, and now it looks like they've had some forward movement. All right. Iraq seeks to transform international coalition mission into bilateral relations. So, look at there's army people. I think this is one of our army people, Alina Romanowski. He may be a translator. I'm not sure why he's over in the corner like that, but whatever. So, there was something that happened with ISIS yesterday. I don't really want to talk about it. I just want to talk about the money stuff today. But they have the ongoing thing. We don't need you here anymore. ISIS is no longer a problem, right? So, yeah. But what is interesting, and the only reason I did post this was it talks about changing the mission, right? Transforming. So we're not leaving. They're just going to transform us into another name. But yeah. Okay, so this is today. But this happened. I think this already happened. It kicked off today. Business Impact Conference Iraq, BICI, kicks off in Erbil. 36 companies collaborate to create positive, inspiring, and sustainable work environments. So it's not a very big meeting. I mean, I'm sure there's more people than this, but look at all these companies that are represented. And if you'd like, you can go here and you can click on this and make it big and see the other. And then there's another one also, but I don't have that one here. Okay, how long are we? Okay. Economist Kurdish traders' entry into the dollar selling platform contributed to lowering the exchange rate. Now they're saying the exchange rate's lower. It's not. Well, it did go under 1,500 dinars per dollar, but it's not, it hasn't broken below, it briefly went below 1477, but even today, I think today it's back up to over 1,500. So, but remember they did ask, the Kurds did ask if they could go to the auction. And it looks like they have gone, and they're putting an influx of dollars into the Kurdish markets, and they're hoping that will reduce the price. So if you'd like to read more about that, you can. This seems to be important. Iraq elected to chair the Group of 77 and China. So see, China was, I want my own recognition. So the Group of 77 and China at the United Nations. So yeah, that was announced yesterday. And they'll have that for the year. This is one of those international organizations where they choose a new head every year. And this year they chose Iraq. So isn't that lovely? All right. Parliamentary committee holds Kurdistan responsible for obstructing the approval of the oil and gas law. That was my phone again. So, same old blah, 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 but it's like every now and then they have to put something in the news about the oil and gas law so we don't forget about it. So here's the one. Remember earlier I said we were going to talk about it again? Okay. The central bank meets with electronic payment companies and contracts with an international auditing firm in New York. So this came out yesterday again. So they've been talking about it since Friday and Saturday. But in case this is your first time hearing it, after all this good stuff, they say, oh, no, it's not in this one. they're going to have another meeting at the end of the year. So I'm like, I think we'll be here. I mean, I'm already in January anyway, but if this is, they're meeting on the banks, reintegrating, right, the banks to get the dollar. But wouldn't they need all the banks to be operating in the same manner if they're going to have new notes and a new rate? I don't know. I would think that, but this is such a crazy thing. Um, it's changed so much over the years. Once they get it going, they want it going, right? It's going to have a little bit of confusion for the people in the beginning, and not all. Some of the people will have some confusion, but trust me, they are no dummies, and they know how to use money. They know how to calculate money. They understand different currency rates much better than us Americans who are mostly familiar with the dollar, right? So, okay, let's see. After the success of the recent negotiations in Washington, an expert identifies indicators of a decline in demand for the dollar. So, which there should be. There should be a decline. However, of course, there was a decline because the visitors are gone. There was an article saying 96% of the visitors are gone. So, it should just be back to regular, people who are traveling or going for a treatment, or students are supposedly, right, the only people that should be asking for dollars in the country. Notice I said should be. Okay. So here they're back to using the dirham, the rupee, and the Chinese yuan. So that does in effect create less of a demand for the dollar, which is good. Now, this I think is interesting also. Remember something was going on with the oil, and the OPEC guy went and talked to the oil ministry and said, hey, we know you're overproducing, cut it out, right? And Iraq said, okay, you caught us. And they canceled some shipments of oil. Now, listen to this. Oil minister reveals upcoming visit to U.S. to discuss gas investment file. I know it says investment, but they don't say everything in the articles of what they're going to talk about. So I'm thinking dinar goggles on. They talked to them about the banks, which is the money, right? Now they're going to talk to them about the oil. So, I don't know. Like I said, with dinar goggles on, I'm thinking they're lining up stuff, but who knows? All right. So now, remove the dinar goggles. Fawad Hussein discusses with the U.S. ambassador the details of the International Coalition Conference against ISIS in Washington. So when was he in Washington if he was just in a meeting? No, it's coming up. It's coming up next month. So they'll have another group of, Fawad Hussein is the finance minister, and then they'll have what was the abbreviation for that? IHEC? Some group they put together to talk about getting the coalition troops out. But yeah, so when was that? Was that next month? Next month, yeah. Which actually, I think this was dated yesterday, maybe? I don't know. So September or October. All right, so that's it. That's all the articles that I had. But I wanted to briefly touch on something that is out. Scam alert. Can you see that? This thing is here in the way. Let me see. The Iraqi dinar revaluation scam. False hope. Financial deception. So, and I'm really baffled why this website is very much pro-Iraq. Pro-Iraqi. Um, it talks about the business deals. It talks about what's that guy's name? Tabak Chali. They put a lot of the reports for the stock market. So I'm really surprised that they would post this. And look, they don't even have the person's name. They put a guest blogger. Then, disclaimer, any opinions expressed are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of this website. Okay, so did he pay you? Excuse me, I'm presuming it's a he. Did the guest blogger pay you to get this article in your uh, website? But it struck me, not funny, but another person that I guess a friend, I'll say a friend, contacted me because she had a friend who, upon doing research, what comes up? Scam, 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 right? So she was like, what can I tell this person? And I'm at the point where it's like, either you believe it or you don't, right? I've been in this so long that when a new person comes along, it's hard for me to even fathom that they think it's a scam, right? But anyway, so I didn't post this anywhere. I'm not going to post it. But um, there are people out there still saying if the first sentence is the notion that the Iraqi dinar will appreciate in value by any unprecedented multiple has circulated in certain investment circles for many years. This idea, often presented as an insider tip or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, is in reality a long-standing scam. Then they go on to talk about the fall of Saddam Hussein. Forgive the ads. Sees candy. That's hilarious. Anyway, let's see. So, it says it's virtually non-existent. Then they have a history. So, I don't know. I'm not. Some people will say, oh, they're posting this right now because it's about to go, right? The revalue is about to happen, and they're trying to discourage people. And this is not the first one. This is not the first article that they've had of this type. They're older ones, right? Even all the way back to, I think I saw one like 2008. So now, if the reason I'm not going to post this is because some people will freak out and really, want to give up. But I did want to address it because I saw some other people did, and people are asking me about it. So, what a strong person who's not going to be swayed by this, you could go through this article and read it, and when there is something that you could use to, what's the word? Not contradict, counter what they say, then you know that you've studied enough and you are a full believer in this happening. So if it's not going to burn your blood or whatever they say, if it's not going to make you angry or make you doubt, I will put the link to this at the very bottom. But only go there if you're strong in your conviction about this, okay? So that's it. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I am enjoying mine thoroughly. And I'm actually really surprised that news is coming out on a Sunday. So I was like, well, let me do this now while I have some time. So I wanted to post this. I hope it helps. And what do I say? accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. If there's a like, no, not like, join, subscribe, follow. There's one other word, more, description, anything like that. Oh no, I guess that's too different. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Take whatever action is needed, tap, swipe, click, whatever, that button. And because I don't update regularly, if you activate that and technology works as it is supposed to, when I do update, you will be notified. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for the nice comments. And enjoy the rest of your weekend in case I don't post again until Tuesday. Yeah, until then.